during practice they suspended the officiating staff from last weekend's game for 3 weeks?
Not aware of it. Not concerned about it. We're focused on Ole Miss.
How's our practice today?
It was good. Sharp.
Coach, any similarities to the players' attitude this week as it was last week?
Yeah, very similar. Play one game at a time. That's where our focus is on Ole Miss.
What's the team been doing well over these last 3 weeks?
Running to the football, being opportunistic, creating fumbles, recovering fumbles, getting after the quarterback, getting off on third down and playing well in the red zone right now.
Does it help to have like Bakken and Allen, former staffers of Coach Nutt? Are they seeing anything different than y'all are seeing?
I think that's an extremely good question. Yeah, it does. That's as simple as I can put it. They understand tempo, they understand substitution, they're very good input, very good feedback.
What about from some of the former players, some of Nutt's former players, have they been able to lend anything?
I don't think they dare to talk about it. This is Coach Petrino's football team.
I'm talking about for preparing for them.
I'm not concerned about it.
As a coach, did you have any worries maybe at the start of the week that your players, at least mentally, would say, hey, we're going from Florida's offense to Ole Miss's offense, maybe there's a drop-off there?
Oh, no, there's no drop-off. At one time, as you remember, this is the #2 team in the country. There's no drop-off with this offensive football team. It's explosive, it's dynamic, very multiple, and they have playmakers.
You talk about some of the things Malcolm's been able to do, just helping with the other guys on the line by just his body being there on the line, helping guys out.
Well, I think Malcolm is right now is really taking care of himself. He's concerned about his play more than anything else, and he's done a great job with it. And I think because of that example he sets, I think that's where he has the ability to help those other guys out. And how hard he plays, the example he sets, I think the other guys want to be like Malcolm.
Are you guys too concerned about Ole Miss's rushing attack? I mean, does that present a really big challenge?
There's not a team we haven't played that we're not going to have a concern about the rushing attack. They have a lot of different options. They have the Wildcat. They have 2 good tailbacks from the Hunting Wildcat. They're dynamic with putting big people in there at fullback when they might be shy of a fullback. You're going to see an offensive tackle or a guard back there at fullback. So they know how to create. They know how to create the same formations and run the same plays. And they do a great job of getting hats on hats.
How much would you say D.D. Jones has improved from week to week here?
I think doing a nice job. I think he understands well. He has some lapses and stuff in regards to assignments, but the thing about his lapses, when they are bad, bad assignment errors, he still goes full speed, and because of that, he's able to make up for those errors.
Coach,
and I think that's where Malcolm again goes back to, sharing an attitude and an example. I think Malcolm's a great senior leader for us in there.
Coach Petrino was saying that you guys realized pretty early on that DD could be an impact player. When did it register with you that he had some ability?
Watching his high school tape and then seeing him in person and then understand this is going to be a bigger, stronger young man in the future. I think you get the ability to evaluate him more when all of a sudden he's on the field more. And he's playing more than 10 or 12 snaps. Now all of a sudden he's playing 30, 35 snaps. And I think if he lacks anything, it's going to be the endurance. Now, that's a hard transition. All of a sudden you're in there for 10 or 12 snaps, and now you're asked to go 25, 30 snaps a game. Now, that's a tough transition for people. If you're in a sub package and all of a sudden now you're in a starting role. It's easy to play full speed when you're in a sub position just because you got time to rest and relax and see what's going on. And then now all of a sudden we're putting him in a role where he's not just a pass rusher, he's also a run stopper. I think where he's developed is he's become both a run and pass guy. He's a 3-down guy for us.
Can you describe the confidence level of the team now as compared to maybe 4 weeks ago?
I think when you win, I think your confidence always builds itself up. I think the other thing that their confidence gets stronger at is that the system works if you execute, if you go into technique, if your gap's sound, and I think where our breakdown sometimes early was we weren't technique sound, we didn't executes full speed. And there might be because of the fact that we were rolling younger guys in there, you know, keep our older guys fresh, and we're kind of getting the same type of effort at times. But I think the fact that now, you know, they're used to rotations, they're used to the package, they understand the defense, and it goes back to understand the defense so you can play fast. We've not cut back anything. You know, we continue to work on it regardless of who's in there. You know, you can't be too concerned about who's in there, or all of a sudden do you have to cut back on your defense. So they're force fed, you know, and they're responsible to do their assignments.
Where has the playing fast been the most evidence? Is it linebacker play? Or?
I think our front seven have been outstanding. I think our linebackers, our front seven, okay, our front four up front, and then our linebackers, whether it's Freddie, Wendell, Jerry, or, you know, you've got Jericho out there now. I think those guys do a great job of creating havoc.
Last question.
You guys are second in the league right now in sacks. Coming into the season, would you expect this good of a performance out of your defensive line?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we work so hard on. And why don't you expect that? Why don't you demand it? Why don't you get it? You know, so we've been continuing to do that, you know, and, you know, whether it's the fact that we get them in third and long situations is probably real beneficial. You know, it's hard to defend third down and 3, third down and 4, third down and 5 windows. You know, but if you get them in those 3rd and 8 windows, you tee those guys off.